Ever felt like you've been sentenced to clean your room for eternity? Well, Jesus might have felt something similar, but a tad more serious. Picture this. Jesus, standing before Pilate, is sentenced to death. It's like when your parents catch you with a handful of cookies before dinner, but the stakes are much, much higher. No grounding or extra chores here. This is the big leagues. And so, like when you're told to tidy up your room, Jesus starts his journey with a heavy heart. Imagine carrying your massive school backpack. Now times it by 100. That's probably how Jesus felt. Now picture this. The second station, Jesus carrying his cross. It's not a backpack filled with math homework and gym sneakers, but a heavy wooden cross. It's like your backpack on the last day of school, crammed with every book and project. But Jesus, he just hoists it up and keeps going. Just like you conquer that overloaded backpack, Jesus moved forward with determination. Ever tripped over absolutely nothing? Yeah, we've been there too. But Jesus, he had a pretty good reason. As we journey along, we find ourselves at the third station. Here, Jesus stumbles and falls for the very first time. Now imagine this. You're walking along minding your own business and bam, you're face first on the ground. Quite the experience, isn't it? Now picture this, but with a heavy wooden cross on your back. That's what Jesus was going through. You know how it feels when you trip over a toy left on the floor or maybe on your own shoelaces? You're shocked, a bit embarrassed, and you're hoping nobody saw that, right? Well, Jesus' fall was like that, but on a much grander scale. And yet he got up, picked up his cross, and kept going. Talk about determination and resilience. So next time you trip, remember, even Jesus took a tumble once. You know that look your mom gives you when you come home past curfew? Imagine her seeing you carrying a massive cross. Now we're at the fourth station, where Jesus meets his mother, Mary. Picture the scene. Jesus, weighed down by the heaviness of the cross, meets the gaze of his mother. It's not exactly your typical family reunion, right? It's more like when you sneak back into the house after a late-night party and bump into the antique vase in the hallway. The look on your mom's face? Yeah, that's the one. But here's the thing about moms. They're always there for you even when you're carrying your cross, literally or metaphorically. Mary's love for Jesus didn't waver, not even in the face of such despair. It's like when your mom still makes you your favorite breakfast the morning after you've broken curfew. Even in the toughest times, a mother's love shines through. Just ask Jesus. Ever felt so tired you could just sleep for 3 days straight? Jesus can relate. So here's the scoop. We've arrived at the 14th station, where Jesus is laid in the tomb. Imagine, if you will, the world's most dramatic trust fall. There's no team-building exercise that can top this one, folks. After a day that would make anyone's worst Monday look like a walk in the park, Jesus was finally getting some rest. And let's be honest, who hasn't wished for a 3-day nap after a long, hard week? But this wasn't your typical, I've had too much pizza and can't move kind of sleep. This was a much-needed, deep and peaceful rest. Jesus had just carried the weight of the world, literally and figuratively, and now he was finally getting some shut-eye. Now, I know what you're thinking. This isn't your typical weekend sleep-in. There's no alarm clock buzzing, no sun peeking through the curtains, and certainly no one yelling about chores to be done. But in a way, this was Jesus' ultimate weekend sleep-in. He'd been through the ringer, given it his all, and now he was taking a well-deserved rest. Think about it. Jesus, in his human form, experienced exhaustion just like us. He knew what it felt like to be drained, to be spent, to have given everything you've got and then some. And just like us, he needed time to recharge. But here's the twist. This isn't just a story about a really intense cat nap. This is a story about hope, about renewal, and about the promise of something greater. Because as we all know, this isn't the end of Jesus' journey, not by a long shot. And there you have it, folks. Jesus, just like us, had some tough days. But remember, after every weekend sleep-in comes a new day, or in Jesus' case, a resurrection.